CBS News Bay Area Afternoon Edition with Ann Mekovic.
Right now on the afternoon edition, we are watching the skies over the Bay Area for potential for lightning and rain today. What a change from what we've seen the last couple of days. Thanks for joining us. It is a first alert weather day. Let's get right over to meteorologist Jessica Birch.
It has been a very cool and calm morning so far as we're gearing up for some thunderstorm activity into the overnight hours tonight, early morning hours tomorrow. Now, I want to show you two different models and the timeline of the storm based off those models. Our first one, the graph model, is showing those storms pushing out of Southern California later tonight into the overnight hours tonight. That's when we're expected to see our first batch of showers sweeping not only throughout the Sacramento Valley, but over here into the Bay too. Now, within the past couple hours, I've been keeping a close eye on this model alone, and it's looking like that one's starting to show the storms tracking a little bit more off into the east. There's a better chance that our East Bay areas could see heavier showers compared to some of our friends along the coast. At the same time, this model behind me, the HRRR, this one is showing an earlier setup when it comes to showers pushing in later tonight around 8, 9, 10 o'clock. Now, the system is expected to move its way all the way into the north as we head into the next 48 hours. So places like Redding, Sacramento, they're going to be seeing those lingering showers longer. Here in the Bay, we'll get a taste of it before it continues to track off into the north. With those storms, though, of course, we always welcome rain here in the Bay Area, but what we don't love is the idea of lightning, and that is a possibility as we head into the next 24 to 48 hours as that storm continues to move its way up into the north, closer to the Oregon border. And at the same time, that storm system is bringing in some cooler weather for us here in the Bay Area, too. Think about it. Yesterday, we were talking about daytime highs well above average all throughout the Bay. Today, we're actually below average from Antioch all the way over into San Francisco and everywhere in between. I'll have more on that coming up in a bit. For now, back to you.
Oh, thanks, Jess. You may soon be able to run the water freely in Benicia again. Crews are repairing damage to a major pipeline that break forced the city into a stage 4 critical water shortage today. That break was near Goodyear Road and Morrow Lane, but it affected the whole city. Right now, everyone in the city being told to reduce their usage by 40%. City says keep showers under 5 minutes, only run dishwashers and washing machines with full loads, and don't do any non-essential outdoor watering. The city dealt with a similar issue in 2022, and then in 2023 after a hillside collapsed. One person who lives nearby we spoke with said the issue is becoming frustrating.
It's been an ongoing issue for the last couple years. I don't know if our city can manage their money or what's going on, so it's kind of ridiculous, I think.
For now, people in Benicia are relying on water from Lake Herman. They say that it might taste, quote, earthy, but that it is safe to drink. Leaders in San Jose say the amount of hikers have more than doubled on the Guadalupe River Trail 3 months after the city began its large-scale encampment sweep along the river. Mayor Matt Mahan says they have reclaimed the public space to make them available for everyone. Today, he helped install a sign designating the area as a no encampment zone. That will allow the city to remove any encampments without a 72-hour notice. Police there have arrested a suspect in a triple homicide. Happened just after midnight Tuesday on Chenoweth Avenue in San Jose. Officers identifying 27-year-old Joseph Vicencio as the suspect. There he is. One woman was pronounced dead at the scene. 2 others died later at the hospital. The medical examiner has identified one of the victims as 26-year-old Tara Lynn Taylor. The mayor also said that one of the victims worked for the city's housing division. In Cupertino, a Whole Foods that was shut down because of a vermin infestation has been given the okay to reopen. That store on Stevens Creek Boulevard has been closed since April after Santa Clara County inspectors found rodent droppings throughout the building. Whole Foods telling the Chronicle the store will reopen later this month once they finish renovations. An historic season for the Golden State Valkyries has come to an end.
That one lobbed into Zandalicini. Tough shot, puts it up at the buzzer, and it's no good.
The team fell short of forcing a Game 3 with the Minnesota Lynx. The Lynx won it 75-74. One Valkyries player says, despite the loss, the season has been a special one.
Incredible experience. This was an incredible team, a group of women that are really great people and obviously ballers too, but I think it's bigger than basketball right now, and just appreciating where we are, appreciating being in the Bay in front of this fan base. It's just been really special.
Now, the Valkyries' home game last night was not at Chase Center. They played at SAP in San Jose because Chase was already booked for the Labor Cup. And despite the loss, the crowd proved that Valhalla is a mentality that goes everywhere. The Valkyries are the first expansion franchise to reach the playoffs in their inaugural season. Taking a check on Wall Street, here is a live look at the big board this Thursday afternoon. Dow is up about 175 points. And NVIDIA, the world's leading chip maker, is investing $5 billion now in Intel. The two Silicon Valley chip makers will team up to develop technology for computers and data centers, a deal that illustrates the demand for AI in the industry around the world. This agreement serves as a lifeline for Intel, as the company was late to enter the mobile computing era after the iPhone, and now amid the boom in AI. President Trump just wrapped up his historic second state visit to the United Kingdom. He spent day 2 in talks with Prime Minister Keir Starmer, discussing trade and a new tech deal. They signed a partnership focused on nuclear energy and artificial intelligence with several U.S. tech giants pledging billions of dollars in investments. This builds on the trade deal that the U.S. and U.K. announced back in May.
This new accord is already helping spur a massive wave of private sector deals worth over $350 billion alone.
We have huge new investments from NVIDIA, Nscale, OpenAI, Google, Salesforce, and many more.
Well, today focused on policy. Day 1 was all about royal pageantry, culminating with a lavish state dinner attended by 160 guests, including administration officials, members of the president's family, and tech CEOs. Today, a CDC advisory committee meeting to consider softening or even eliminating recommendations for childhood immunizations. This comes as California joins leaders from other Western states breaking from President Trump's CDC policies. They're forming a new group called the West Coast Health Alliance. Governor Newsom, along with leaders in Oregon, Washington, and Hawaii, announced vaccine recommendations that run counter to CDC recommendations. Another huge shakeup in late-night television. Jimmy Kimmel Live pulled off the air by ABC. And as Jared Hill reports, the show was suspended after Kimmel made comments about MAGA Republicans in the wake of the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
Jimmy Kimmel seen leaving his studio Wednesday after ABC put Jimmy Kimmel Live on hold indefinitely. Monday, the late-night host made this comment about the man accused of killing conservative activist Charlie Kirk.
We had some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
In response, Chairman of the Federal Communications Commission, Brendan Carr, a Trump appointee, said this about broadcast networks while on a conservative podcast.
And they have a license granted by us at the FCC, and that comes with it an obligation to operate in the public interest. These companies can find ways to change conduct, to take action, frankly, on Kimmel, or there's going to be additional work for the FCC ahead.
Soon after, local broadcast groups Sinclair and Nexstar announced they'd preempt Kimmel. Then ABC announced it would pull the host indefinitely. On social media, President Trump called the move great news for America. The White House has doubled down on the condemnation of certain commentary on Charlie Kirk.
When you see someone celebrating Charlie's murder, call them out. And hell, call their employer.
Nico Perino is with FIRE, the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression.
When you have a government official coming in and saying that there are certain ideas that cannot be expressed, you start undermining the legal, not to mention the cultural values that undergird this country.
ABC has not explained its decision.
Governor Gavin Newsom reacting to the news on X last night, saying, quote, buying and controlling media platforms, firing commentators, canceling shows. These aren't coincidences. It's coordinated and it's dangerous. The GOP does not believe in free speech. They are censoring you in real time. This all comes in the wake of CBS pulling the plug on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. The network says budget cuts are to blame. It does come after Colbert criticized Paramount for settling a lawsuit with President Trump. Still ahead here at noon, we're going to meet this week's CBS News Bay Area Icon Award winner.
She survived the Khmer Rouge genocide by staying silent. Now an American citizen, she's become a voice for Cambodian Americans.
And let's take another live look outside on this first alert weather day. You're talking about thunderstorms around the bay. We'll have your full forecast when we come back. More than 40 years ago, some 150,000 refugees came to the U.S. to flee the oppressive Khmer Rouge regime in Cambodia. One woman who resettled in the East Bay was inspired to serve newcomers who come to America to start over. Sharon Chin introduces us to this week's CBS News Bay Area Icon Award winner.
Sambo Lee's backyard is a stage where American-born children learn Cambodian dancing.
To me, culture, language, arts are the glue that keep us together.
With every graceful step, 11-year-old Morgan Vong keeps the beauty of her culture alive.
It brings me happiness, of the thought that I'm preserving my culture.
Sambo's dance and language classes are saving what was lost, precious traditions that the Khmer Rouge wiped out during the Cambodian genocide decades before. Sambo lived through those terrifying times as a teenager forced into hard labor.
I witnessed a lot of traumas along the way, burned buildings, dead bodies around the roads.
She lost 12 out of 17 relatives, including her aunt.
One night, they pick her up, and she's gone. And I can't even cry, because if I dare to cry or express my feeling, I might be taken away.
Sambo details in her book how she stayed alive by staying silent. But when she came to the U.S. as a refugee in 1981, she vowed to become a voice for newcomers.
I used that trauma as a strength to help my community.
She's been an interpreter and translator for nearly 40 years. For the last 2 decades, she's managed and trained them at the Alameda Health System, the county's safety net provider. She's chaired the annual Khmer New Year event in Oakland for 15 years. And she founded the nonprofit Cambodian Family and Children's Services in 2016 out of her home. She teaches traditional dance every weekend to students like Juliana Paisan.
She's teaching the culture to the next generation of children.
Sambo also extends a helping hand to many families in citizenship applications, family petitions, housing, and senior citizen services. Alyssa Chanthy says Sambo was like a grandmother to students, a respected teacher to their parents.
Me and my family look up to her. We think that she's a really big inspiration to everyone, especially to the Cambodian community.
And a role model to Jake Vong, a student who now teaches what he's learned.
She does a lot of community service. I see it, and then that basically inspires me to want to do more for my community.
For Sambo, each day of life is a gift.
Every day that I wake up, I am thankful that I have life and I can contribute back to my community. I am very happy.
So for her service to the Cambodian American community and other newcomers, this week's CBS News Bay Area Icon Award goes to Sambo Lee.
And you can nominate your own community hero for a CBS News Bay Area Icon Award at kpix.com/icon. Jess.
All right, it is a first alert weather day. I know it's dry right now, but within the next 12 hours, we're going to see this system that's currently still down in Southern California impact all of us here in the Bay Area in some way, shape, or form. Now, the big threat, of course, is thunderstorm activity. We'll welcome the rain any day of the week, right? But as we head into the evening hours tonight, early morning hours tomorrow, that area of low pressure, this is actually the leftovers, believe it or not, from a tropical storm that was just brewing earlier this week down near Mexico. Now, as it's starting to track its way inland and even more north, it's starting to lose some of its energy. And as it does that, it wrings out the last of its moisture over us here in the Bay Area. Just light lingering showers in the forecast into Friday as some of the bulk of those storms start to track off closer to Tahoe and throughout the Sacramento Valley. That's what we're gearing up for here in the Bay Area. Now, the rain is welcomed, like I said, but what's not so welcomed, it's the thunderstorm activity. There is a chance that we could see lightning associated with some of these storms as they move their way into the Bay Area, and we're monitoring that closely, especially when it comes to fire weather concerns. Now, at the same time, think about where we were at just yesterday. Yesterday, the big story had to do with the heat, especially off into our inland spots where we were all above average by about 5 to 15 degrees. Today, that's actually the opposite problem of what we're having. I mean, we're continuing to cool down as we head into the next couple of days. We're seeing 60s back along the coast, 70s and 80s widespread from Santa Rosa, where we're 6 degrees below average this afternoon, all the way down into San Jose, where we're about a degree below average this afternoon. Yesterday, it was a hot stretch for us. I mean, yesterday, the day before, all the way into our Monday forecast. But you take a look at our inland forecast throughout the next 7 days. We're holding on tight to this cool weather as this area of low pressure moves its way to the north, bringing with it stormy skies, chance of cloudy skies, a chance of stormy conditions, and then on top of that, these cooler conditions that we're going to last into our Friday forecast too. We'll start to warm up as high pressure builds in this weekend. 90s returning into the forecast to kick off next week, but it's important to note next Tuesday, that's the next time we could see some unsettled weather in the forecast, and we're monitoring that closely here in the Weather Center as we head into next week. For now, we're keeping a close eye on this first alert weather day to those storms as they continue to move closer to the Bay Area this afternoon. Heading into the evening hours tonight, we'll see lingering scattered thunderstorms tomorrow before it starts to clear up heading into this weekend. Back to you.
Thanks, Jess. The 49ers getting ready for their home opener. We'll check on Brock Purdy's status and a show of strength on defense coming up in our Red and Gold Report.
This is the Audi Red and Gold Report.
Brock Purdy was back on the practice field with the 49ers on Wednesday, and Kyle Shanahan said that there's a chance he could play in the home opener against the Cardinals this Sunday.
Mainly just how he's feeling and how he thinks he could go, what he thinks he can do today. What's he think he could do tomorrow, Friday, and Sunday? There's no uncertainty about the quarterback on defense. Fred Warner's performance against the New Orleans Saints in Week 2 earned him NFC Defensive Player of the Week honors for the 4th time in his career. I feel like you can almost get that every week. But Fred's having a hell of a year so far. Can't think of a year he hasn't, though.
The guy's a freak, man. He's special. Every single week, we know if 5-4 is on our team and he's leading that defense, we have a chance.
For the Red and Gold Report, I'm Matt Lively.
Well, travel is getting more accessible at Oakland Airport. A free American Sign Language interpretation service is now available to support deaf or hard of hearing travelers. It's part of an initiative with the company IRA. Their ASL app connects travelers with certified interpreters through live video calls. It can be used during check-in, security screening, and boarding with no advanced reservation required. That is going to do it for the afternoon edition. Thanks for joining us. Remember, we are streaming 24/7 on the free CBS News app. Just go to live and then choose Bay Area. I'm going to be back here at 5 o'clock with more live local news. In the meantime, I'm going to get ready for those potential thunderstorms around the Bay. Have a great afternoon.